everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can see by the title, if I even title it, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I started off this morning by wanting to film a Kim Kardashian inspired makeup look. So quite a deep blue smoky eye, a nude lip, lots of bronzer. But my eye kind of got more and more dramatic the more I just sat and played with makeup. So it's very loosely inspired by Kim Kardashian and the kind of blue trend that's exploding more now. I've got a few like reference photos of Kim in blue, especially since her palette's just been released. So yeah, I wanted to do like a blue look and I came up with this. So we're going to be using a lot of different products, some drugstore, some high-end, and if you just want to see how I got this look, then yeah, just keep on watching. So I'm starting off with a primed eyelid. I used my Barry M full coverage concealer and then just set it in place with a face powder. And I'm now going to dip into my Sample Beauty Spectrum palette. This is a pretty good dupe for the Morphe 35B palette. It's just a spectrum of incredibly bright colours, but you've also got lots of good kind of transition shades, white, black, and then all these lovely bright ones. However, this is only £15 and the Morphe palette has gone up in price. Like, they keep putting up their prices. I think it's nuts. I'm gonna go in with like a medium brownish pinkish shade, just this one, just to kind of map out my shape initially. And I'm doing a kind of smoked out winged look because it's a look that I've been really enjoying recently. I feel like it makes my eyes look bigger and more like up. You know, the kind of way winged liner gives you that look. However, winged liner is such a faff. So I'm just gonna kind of draw my initial kind of shape. Just using that light brown tone. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm not really needing this shade. It's more just for transitioning and mapping. I find that it helps if you start at your lower lash line and then drag it like exactly where that would extend. And that's also a really flattering way of elongating your eye. So I've got my kind of initial shape on. I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush. This is my Nima brush, Bell brush. And I'm dipping into this kind of peach tone and a little bit back into that original kind of brown. And I'm just going to make sure that this line's really diffused because I don't want it to be a harsh line at all. I'm going to cover all of this up with blue pretty much, as you can see. I used to have to do this look with tape, but I found that I'm able to freehand it now just with practice. Like, I used to be terrible at winging out eyeshadow and I still don't think I've mastered it at all, but I'm definitely getting a lot better. So I'm going to go in with a smaller brush now and dip into this blue here and a little bit of this blue, just kind of mix them together. And I'm just going to go over that shape with the blue. I find that if you go straight in with the blue, it's a little bit, well, for me it's a little bit daunting and I want to kind of have an outline to follow. This is a really good palette though if you want nice bright matte shades. I think every shade in here is matte. And like I said, the Morphe one keeps going up in price. When I bought it, it was I think £18 and now it's around £23. Plus it's always sold out, whereas this one's in stock. I'll obviously link everything in the description box. Going back in with my Bell brush and just making sure that line's nice and diffused. So I'm starting to get a nice blue winged out look. Now I'm going to deepen it. I'm going to go in with the navy blue in the palette just here. Just on that same little fluffy brush. This is a super cheap brush off eBay and I love it. It's such a good brush. And I'm going to kind of follow the same line, just not bring it as high. So I'm popping it in my crease. pigmented as that. And I'm also joining it to my lower lash line so that I can follow that line right where it needs to be and then just connect them. Obviously it looks a little bit stark right now, but blending is what we're gonna do. So that is what it looks like just now. Back in with my Nyx Bell brush, and I'm gonna dip into this shade and mix it with this brighter blue. Only thing annoying with, like, you know, these kind of big, beautiful palettes is that the shades don't have names. So it's slightly harder to follow tutorials when people use them, I think, but I think a good tip as well, if you're using really bright colours and you're worried that you've done it too much, like I feel like I've taken it a little bit too high, go in with a white just on a big fluffy brush, because what it's just going to do is blend that shade into your base. Because it's white, it's just going to kind of pastel the edges and just make it a little bit more seamless. And even like towards the tail, just pull that white as well and it'll just diffuse things. I'm going to use a flat brush now. This is my ABH A2 and dip into the navy. And I'm just going to fill in my whole lid with this. Starting to take shape now. See, when I sat down to film this morning, I did not mean it to be this dramatic, but it just happens to me. I can't control myself when it comes to bright colours. Like, I'm not gonna find a picture of Kim Kardashian with this makeup eyes anyway. But the colour blue, loosely inspired. So now I'm moving on to a different palette. I'm going to move it into my Urban Decay Moondust. I love this palette so much. As you can see, I've hit pan on pretty much all the shades. I'm going to dip into Vega, which is the blue, just on that flat brush that I used the navy shade on. I'm going to load up my brush and then spray it with a setting spray and just start packing that all over my lid. Because I want the kind of deeper blue. And I want it a bit sparkly because it's not me unless I use glitter in some way. I'm definitely going to purchase, well, either this palette again or some of my favourite Moondust single shades, because I actually don't use Granite, Lithium or Galaxy that much in the palette, but I do use every single other shade. So maybe I just need to buy singles. Hopefully you can see that's adding a nice kind of touch of sparkle to my lid. And I think just kind of elevating a very kind of matte look. I'm dipping into that on my blending brush as well because I do want it to be diffused into the crease because it is slightly deeper than the shades I've used. And also I don't mind sparkle in my crease for certain looks. So that's that shade packed on my lid. Now, on this eye, I went in with this blue glitter. I'll link these below. You get like a pack of 8 on eBay for very, very cheap. And I love this glitter, but I didn't like how it looked. So what I did was I packed it, I put it on, and then I covered it again with the blue eyeshadow. So I need to copy it just so that it matches both eyes, but just miss this step, or if you do like the extra sparkle that it gives, just keep it in. But I wasn't really wanting this. I think it's because it's more green reflecting than blue. But if you have like a nice blue glitter, in fact, you know what, I do have a nice blue glitter. I might use that afterwards. I'm just gonna pat this out like I did the other side. I mean, it is gorgeous, it's just not the look I kind of wanted today. It is very pretty. And then I'm just going to go over that with the shade Vega, just to kind of dim down the sparkle a little bit. But yeah, ignore this step, really. I just have to match both eyes. And that's pretty much the eye look done. It's really simple. I say that's it, done. I've been filming for 16 minutes, if you're interested. Just gonna wipe away all the fallout. There is a lot of fallout. We're working with packing a lot of pigment on, so that's gonna happen, but that's why we never do our base first. So what we can do now is move on to skin and get this terrible skin at the moment covered up with a nice full coverage foundation, and we'll come back to eyes later on. Okay, hold on a second, I'm back before I meant to be. I've just on my left eye gone in with this NYX glitter. This is in 01. It's just a blue glitter, and I've used a tiny bit of my Too Faced glitter glue and I put it on my left lid, and I just thought it looked really pretty, so I'm just going to quickly do it on this side. I don't want to miss this out of the tutorial, so I'm just patting a little bit of that glitter glue on. Also, excuse my fan heater, I wasn't going to film face for a few minutes, so I put my heater on. And I'm just patting this glitter on, and actually I think it really adds to the look. And it's the right blue. I'm just patting that over my mobile lid. I'm not taking it into the crease or anything. And then it's just a bit more sparkly on the lid. Anyway, I'll see you in a minute for skin. For skin, I'm going to mix two foundations just because it's how I've found I like using this foundation. So I'm going to mix the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow with my Tarte Shape Tape foundation. I find that the Pro Glow just isn't enough coverage for me, but if I mix it with a slightly fuller, well, with a fuller coverage foundation, that I really like how my skin looks. So I'm just going to pop a generous helping of the Pro Glow on. This is so watery. About that much. And then I'm just going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape as well and just blob that on. I like the Shape Tape as well because it's got a bit more colour to it. So it's giving me a bit more colour in my skin. And I'm going to blend it in with my Look Good Feel Better sponge. This is a really good sponge. I got it in my Mrs. Gloss and the Goth, which is a Facebook group, beauty edit box. And it's so nice. I feel like by mixing these foundations I get a really lovely coverage, but it's still kind of dewy and glowy and a bit, you know, healthy looking, rather than just like pure matte skin. I must say though, I really struggled not to use my new Revolution Pro Camouflage foundation today because I've used that now in like my last 2 videos, but I love it so much. But I was like, no, you can't use it again, use something different. I think Kim never has like super matte skin, but she does a fairly matte skin, so I think this is okay. And I'm not doing like a transformation, I'm just doing an inspired look. So think heavy contouring, bright under eyes, and then this blue colour. It's quite annoying, I really wanted to use a new product in this video. I've been sent the new Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, the new shades, and they have a white one, and I wanted to use that today, but it's not arrived yet, so I'll just use a different concealer, but hopefully I can still get like really bright under eyes. I want super bright under eyes, so I'm going to mix my Freedom White Concealer. This has been discontinued, but like I just said, Revolution are releasing a white Conceal and Define, so one of these in white. So if you need a white concealer, grab that one. And I'm going to mix it with my Barry M All Night Long Full Coverage Concealer. This is what I use to prime my eyelids, and it's a really lovely full coverage concealer. I'm just gonna, that's pretty pale as it is, but I want like kind of a more dramatically pale under eye. And I don't feel like I need to really conceal anywhere else on my face. I feel like that foundation did a really good job, the mix of them. So this is the white one. I'm just gonna pop some on. I think Kat Von D also does a white concealer as well. I've never tried her concealer, but I love her foundation and powders. See how insanely bright that is? That's what I'm wanting. I might just balance it out a little bit on my chin, just so that it's not just my under eyes that are kind of brighter. So that is my base. I'm just going to quickly set it with a powder, if I can get it. So the powder I'm going to use under my eyes is the Revolution Pro Loose Powder. I just find this incredibly brightening, but it does cause flashback a little bit. So if you're concerned about flashback, don't use this powder. But I'm not going to be, you know, doing flash photography today, so it's not a problem. But I do think this is just really, really brightening, even more so under my peepers. See how bright that is? Ooh. On the rest of my face though, using a big fluffy brush, I'm going to use my Maybelline Matte Maker powder. This is still really pale. This is in the shade 10 Classic Ivory, but it's not as pale as the loose powder. I also never highlight my forehead because I have more like an 8 head, so I don't ever bring highlight onto it. But if you don't have an 8 head, then feel free to add a bit more concealer to highlight your forehead. And then because I've got a full coverage base on and I've got quite a lot of powders, just to settle the powders, I'm going to use my Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Finishing Spray. No, I'm not. I'm going to use my Milani Dewy Spray. Hold on. I'm going to use my Milani Make It Dewy Spray instead because I like the thought of having a bit more dewiness to this really quite matte skin. That was a lot. It's still drying down, but I think it does add a bit more of a sheen to your skin. And we didn't need a matte spray, of all things, on top of a very matte base. So that's how the base is looking. All we have to do now is contour, bronze, blush, and add lips and lashes, and then we're done. So let's move in and contour. I think I prefer doing that before I bronze, actually. And which one will we use? I'm gonna use another NYX product. This is the NYX Powder Contour Kit, and I'm gonna use these two shades mixed together, so the middle two contour shades, because one's slightly darker, and I do want quite a defined contoured look. This is the Real Techniques contour brush, and it's probably the best contour brush. I've got so many, but I always come back to this one. I'm also going to contour my chin. I don't usually contour my jawline anymore, just because I find that I can't really blend it in that well, to be honest, or it just never looks natural. But she's got a more kind of defined jaw, you know, I've got the double chin. And she's obviously quite a bronzy gal, so I'll put quite a lot of bronzer on as well. I'm actually just going to deepen up this contour a little bit with this more warm shade. No, with a really dark shade. This is way too dark, but I'll just pat off the excess and add it a little bit in the first like inch or two under my lip, because I want it to appear bigger. I'm going to use my Milani bronzer in 04 Glow because it has a little bit of a glow to it as opposed to just a really flat bronzer. It's got like gold running through it, but it's not glittery in any way. It's just got a sheen. It's just lovely. I'm just going to load up my brush Start to add a bit more colour back into my face because I am looking very pale. I mean, I am pale anyway. This is a really nice bronzing brush. This is the ABH A20, and I just find that it's flexible enough that it really diffuses the colour, but also packs a punch when you apply it. Go down the bridge of my nose a little bit, because that's where the sun would naturally hit. I'm feeling a lot more bronzy now and a lot kind of more like I have colour in my skin, which is nice. I'll just do my neck a little bit. And then I like to highlight prior to blush because I think it helps everything really blend in a lot nicer. So let me just pick a blush to use. I think I'll use my Sleek Solstice. I really love this one. And I'll use the kind of peachier shade at the bottom. This is very blinding. And I actually don't want too much highlight on. And now that I've got my highlight on, I want to put on a blush, and I'm feeling quite a peachy blush. I feel like it'll go nicely with the blue eyes. So I'm going to use my Kiko Smart Blush in the shade 02, which is a lovely peachy colour. These are really inexpensive, but really good quality. That's just going to help add a bit more colour as well. So let's quickly finish off the under eyes. I'm just going to run some of those blue shades from the palette underneath my eyes and just connect it to the top. I'm just going to keep it really simple under here, not add glitter or anything. I really, really love blue eyeshadow with blue eyes. My Birchbox just came. Anyway, I'm just pressing pure white into my inner corners just as a base for whatever highlight shade I want to put on top. I'm not sure yet. How is my camera battery dying already? So I'm going back into my Sleek palette. I'm going into this paler shade, and I'm just going to pop that on my inner corner. I am just going to wet it though, because I think it really makes it more pop more. And I think Kim always has a very bright inner corner. I need to stop saying this look is Kim inspired so much. For lips, I'm going to outline my lips using my NYX Suede Lip Liner in, what colour? Los Angeles, because I want a deeper shade on the outside and then I'll fill in with a lighter gloss. I've still not put lashes on, I'll do that in a second. And she has really lovely big lips, so I'm definitely going to overline them. And now that I've well and truly overlined my lips and quite darkly, I'm going to use my Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer in number 60 Tease and fill my lips in. I love this lip gloss so much. It's not gloopy or sticky, it's just lovely. It's that really kind of perfect pale nude as well, and you can see it's really starting to blend into the lip liner. I love it. I'm going to tidy this up, put some lashes on, and then I'll be back and we'll be done. So that then is the finished look. Definitely a lot more dramatic than the kind of reference photos I was looking at, but I do really like how it came out. I love a dark blue smoky eye, and I think with the lashes I added, it's adding more drama. I used the SOSU Kylie lashes. That's the Dubai box, but it is the Kylie lashes. And then just on my waterline, I did it off camera, I applied my Kiko 109 pencil, which is a much deeper blue. It's more, you can see the blue in person, but on camera it does look black. So please let me know what you think of this look. I do, like I said, I really like how it came out. Maybe more dramatic than I meant to be, but then it is me, and I just can't help myself sometimes. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe. It means the absolute world to me when I get new subscribers. And I think when this video goes up, I should have hit 5k the way things are going. But if not, if I haven't hit 5k yet, definitely subscribe because I've got a big giveaway coming, and follow my Instagram. It'll be up on the screen where I will announce the giveaway for hitting 5k, hopefully. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!